All right, so for the interrogation room, I have just created a room size that I think I'm going to like, and I have separated off the roof and separated off the floor, so I can do those separately when I'm ready to. And I'm going to work on a table now. So I'm actually going to hide all of that stuff, and I'm going to create a table and texture it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring that up to there, and I'm going to press N and this, and I'm going to make it roughly the size of a typical table of say 76 centimeters above the ground. 71 to 76. I'm going to go for 76 or so, and I'm going to make it 152 centimeters long and 90 centimeters deep, like that. Okay, and then I can scale if I don't like it. I've scaled pretty much everything else to around those units. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit and look at this and decide if I like it. And that's going to be the approximate size. Actually, I think I'm going to make it a little bit longer, and we're going to go for about that. Okay, so I'm going to extrude down, and I'm going to have to flip the polys because they will be flipped. And then I'm going to take, let's take this whole thing and just focus on it. I take the bottom, Shift D, and duplicate it down, and P to break it out. Select it and Control 7 to look from the bottom, and go into edit mode, and S to scale. Scale it in a little bit this way, and then I want to even it by SY. And hold Shift and move a bit slower. And I want it about that. I want to delete the face and leave the edges, so X only faces, so I've got the edges there. And I bring that back up, and I'm going to extrude this down a little bit like that. And I'm just thinking that I think I want this a little bit thicker, just like that. Not much, just a little bit. Okay, so I want that piece. I'm going to look from the bottom, and actually no, I'm going to look from the side a little bit. I'm going to press E and Alt S, and I'm going to pull, give that a little bit of thickness, and really I am going to scale it in the Y about there, and scale it in the X, and just sort of even it out. Is that too thick? I'm thinking now that's too thick, so I'm going to select all these faces in Alt S, and I'm going to push, make it a little bit narrower, and then take these and scale them in the Y, and sort of even it out again. Yeah, we'll go for something like that. Okay, I'm gonna make the legs in a second. I want to round out the corners of this table, so I'm selecting that edge and this edge and this edge and this edge, and I'm going to bevel, Control B, and pull. Okay, so I'm going to Control A, rotation and scale first, and then Control B. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have 5. Break some rules here, and select the top and the bottom, and I'm going to do the same thing. Let's make it nice and round. To correct the shading, I'm going to add weighted normal and normal's auto smooth. This one I don't need to round the corners because I'm going to bevel something though. I'm going to do something else with this as well. Let's flip anything, and let's focus Shift H just on that. I'm going to get rid of these top faces here. Yeah, okay, I'm going to bring in a cube in a moment. As soon as I got everything, yeah. I'm going to bring in a cube, scale it, look from the bottom, drag it over here into the corner. Something like that. Where'd it go? Okay, before I push it in, I'm going to delete these two faces. I pull that in. And I'm going to pull this to the ground, which should give me the right height. What happened there? I guess I got to pull that. I'm going to scale it in a little bit. Yeah, something like that. I am going to bevel the edges of this. However, just with probably 3. Just like that. Before I go anywhere, I'm going to mark a seam right down the middle here. Control E, mark seam. Okay, I can shade smooth that, and if necessary, do the weighted normal and normal's auto smooth. Okay, 3D cursor's right there, so I should be good. I should be good to mirror this in the X and the Y. All right, that's fine. Now I did unwrap. I don't know if I unwrap. Doesn't even matter because I'm going to apply that mirror just like that. Okay, now I'll unwrap the rest of it, but there's going to be a little bar there for like handcuffs or something. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to select. I can select any edge. That's where the victim or the suspect is going to sit. I'm just going to drag that in and S to scale. E to break it out, so I have just the edge there, and I'll figure out a position in a minute and pull it up. Look from the front, I guess I am, and yeah, okay. I'm going to extrude downwards like this, and I'm going to get rid of that edge, X edges, and take these 2 vertices and bevel them with Shift Control B, not just Control B. And I'm going to pull them a nice distance apart and have 5 like that. I'm going to convert that to a curve, and in the curve dialog box under geometry, under bevel, I'm going to pull it up till I get to the thickness of the bar that I would want. Not that, shade smooth. All right. Okay, something like that. And to attach it to the table, I'm going to select those 2 vertices and Shift D, pull them down. I know they're disappearing, but P, break them out. Still there. Have no fear. I'm going to bring this up, and then I'm going to change the depth. I'm going to make it like that, let's say. And then we're going to convert that to a mesh. But before we do, let's set the resolution to 4 and convert to mesh, and then come in and select that, pull it down a bit. E and S will pull it in. Take this one, we'll pull it up a bit. E and S come out, and then E and pull it down. And then I'm going to bevel these 2 edges. I just want one segment in, and this one. And I am going to put a subdivision of 1. So I'm going to take this and push it to the table like that. And then I'm going to select the bar and Shift S cursor selected to bring the 3D cursor there. And set the origin to the 3D cursor. And now I can mirror this over. And I'm going to bring it to the top because I will be applying that mirror, and I'm going to do it right now. And then we're going to convert that to a mesh. I guess it's, no, just decide if you want to, yeah, like that. Let's see. Okay, well, we're doing this quick. 4. I convert to a mesh, and then let's come in here and let's just add another edge loop. I want to expand this as a pipe. I just want these nice and straight. Could have just straightened what I had probably, but I'm going to do another one there and another one there, and I'm going to grab both of these and I'm going to pull them up. Are these straight? These ones? No, they're not quite straight. So I'm going to SZ0. And this one, I'm going to SZ0 there. Okay. And now, you know what? The more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to, in face selection, Shift Alt and click all of these. That's all right. Never mind. And all of these. Okay, and then I'm going to expand them. E and Alt S and push. Do that kind of thing. And then in edge selection, Shift Alt and click these edges. We'll bevel those, and we'll work on the shading. Or that'll help the shading anyhow. Just one, because because I'll put a subdivision on here. I'm going to need, well, I might do something down there. I might do some like thread or something like that. Control B, pull to very close to the end there. And all right, maybe not, you know what, it doesn't really need the thread there, so I'm just going to do that. And now it's going to be dark in the room and some extra detail. Control 1, and that's going to be my bar essentially. So I'm going to apply that subdivision, and I'm going to apply that, and just before I join them, I'm going to mark a seam here. It's a lot of polys, I know. Shift Alt and click there, and just mark seam. That's going to be fine right there. That's good enough. And I'm going to go ahead and join those. Okay, and that's going to be my bar, and I have to figure out where it's going to be because I'm going to do it in Substance Painter. It's going to create a little bit of a shadow underneath it and some dirt underneath it. So I do want it closer to the suspects over on that side than on this side. Some people put it in the middle, but I'm going to do it like that. And I'm tired of everything being symmetrical because everything else is always symmetrical. Blah, blah, blah. Now that. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, all right. Well, let's take this and let's head over to UV editing. And let's make sure we're focusing just on that. And yeah, okay, so yeah, okay. For this guy, I'm just going to unwrap, and I'll get this, and this is the bar. I'm just gonna move it out. Now let's move everything out. Okay, and those, we're gonna work on that in a second. For the legs, I'm just gonna come in here, just you unwrap. Okay, that's how they're going to be. I'm going to move them. And for this thing, let's focus on that. I think I will shift Alt and click and put an edge all the way around this like this. That should be good enough. Control E, mark seam, select and unwrap. And I'll get all these pieces like that. And for the tabletop itself, and remind me to make materials for this. No, I'm not even going to do that. What I'm going to do, what I decided I would do, is cube projection like that. Okay, so before I forget, in the materials, let's create a new material and let's call this table pipe. So we got that. This one, tabletop. I bet you saw that coming. Table legs. And this one, what should we call that? Table trim. I'm sure there's a real name for that. I'm calling it that. Okay, so what am I doing now? I think I got everything unwrapped. We can try average island scale. And then we can try just Blender's pack. And then let's have a look at what we've got, because it's not going to stay like this. If I select here and Control Plus, that's the underside of the table. You are rarely ever going to see that. So I'm actually going to scale it down. I'm going to break some rules and scale it down. This, however, Control Plus, and I've got sync on here, this arrow here, double arrow, is the tabletop. It's very important, along with the trim. All right, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to select that, and I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to say, here we go, it's going to be a bit bigger. The trim, if I Control Plus a few times, okay, then I start getting there. Let's drag those guys out of there. These are the legs, I think, and they're pretty important too. Everybody's important. Everybody wants space. This stuff is the actual, there's what we call the trim. What's this? That is part of the trim as well. Get over there. And that is, okay, well, anyhow, you're going up there. Okay. Everybody wants to be important. Okay, now this is a centerpiece on the table. That's going to be bigger. And these are also kind of important. so I'm going to select both of those. I don't want them tiny, tiny. I'm going to switch to individual origins and S. Let's move this a little bit more. You're going to get even bigger than that. Okay, S. Yeah, okay, there. Now they feel better. That's just a question of fitting everything now again. This thing here, as big as I can make it, because of how important that is. Okay, these guys are probably fine. So let's just see if we can fit you in here. As long as you're not overlapping in any way. Okay, hang on. Yeah, okay. I'm going to take a minute to individually place these. But relative to the table, these are pretty big, so that shouldn't be a problem. They maybe can get shrunk down a little bit as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them in here, even overlapping for the moment, and then I'm going to grab all of them, and I will scale them down a bit and move them, and we'll just see where we can position things. Let's rotate 90 this thing. Okay, let's take this. Okay, I'll make these a little bit smaller. Sorry, table bottom, we're not going to see you. I'm going to rotate 90. That could give me a different dimension, different direction of the grain. Let's rotate 90 these. And I'll probably do the same for all of them. All right. Then I would just look and see if there's any way I can make anything a little bit bigger. Not much. I don't want overlapping. We could go with that and try it. Now that I've got materials on them and it's pretty much unwrapped, I'm actually going to join it all together. That's fine like that. Okay, so hopefully we're okay. We're all UV unwrapped. Okay, I'm going to export this and bring it into Substance Painter. All right, here is my table. And the first thing we need to do is bake the mesh maps. We'll bake it 2K. Turn off ID. We don't need that. Okay, there it is. So we do have our different texture sets, so that's good. So we could start with the tabletop actually. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to search for wood. Now I happen to have this wood walnut that I used on the chairs, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use that, and we'll see if we like that. Hopefully we will. I'm going to switch to I'll switch to triplanar, and I'm going to scale this, but not uniformly. I'm going to scale this 2 here. I always do that, and 3 here. Okay, and I can move it along if I want to. I don't think I need to. So that's looking okay. And before I go on and do any more, I'll look at the trim. And for that, I actually want metal. It's not wooden. I'm going to try the steel rust here, and on top of that, I'm going to add one of these rusts and add a black mask, and we use a generator and maybe just let's try metal edges. I don't know if it will give me enough. I'll just do it there maybe. I'm going to try actually dirt and see by adjusting these if I like it. I just want a little bit of this and that. It's going to be pretty dark in the room, you know, so I just want a little bit of variation in color and stuff. What I'm going to do is for the moment, let's grab both of those layers and copy them to the legs. So these are going to be all metal. And I just want them dark and just kind of there. I don't want to do a lot of stuff with them. They're just old, you know, metal legs. And that's it. And if I really wanted to, I could try sort of the metal edges and see if I bring them down and bring, let's use triplanar, bring up the grunge to break it up, but really bring them down, and then, I don't know what I would want to do with that. Like they're scuffed up, maybe make it a little bit more like darker, but metalish. I don't know if that's gonna help at all. Yeah, let's. Do I want to take that layer? I'm not labeling anything these days, which I should. Do I want to put it on there? Didn't really do anything, so. Okay, let's not do that, but let's take these, let's take the legs ones, because it's got that extra one, and just see. Copy those onto the pipe and see how it turns out with that. I do want a bit of that rust down there. That looks fine for what I'm going to need. We're not going to zoom in like that. Okay, so we're going to have the table there and that. Oh, just one thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's just get the top dirty. So fill layer, black mask. I'm going to leave it white for now. I keep doing that. Generator, let's just try a typical dirt generator. It goes all over the place, but you can see it under there, which is what I'm going to, you know, that's why I can't just arbitrarily move that now. Something like this. And then what if we change this to a, now it's pretty dark brown, so it's hard to see sometimes, but it's in there, and you know, the light would catch it. We're going to do a few passes at this. I will maybe paint a bit of dirt as well. I want to do black on there as well. So there's some dirt, and let's do another one like this. Again, I did that. Let's try to the metal edges. So we'll get that and we'll go nuts. Let's reduce this. And let's use triplanar. Let's bring up the grunge. That'll sort of break it up. And just do that and then switch the color maybe over to a brownish color. Or maybe even darker. It's just there. It's just a hint of something there. As if somebody, you know, it got scuffed against there. And let's make sure we're bringing the roughness up. All right, that's something we gotta keep in mind. Maybe that color's bad. I don't know. I kind of want to just dark. And what I could always do is I could try soft light and maybe bringing this down. So it's just there. Maybe that is too dark. Maybe it should be almost like a light color. All right, well, do some more there in a bit. I do want some of that white kind of dust on there, though. What if we try? These will be pretty extreme. You know, if I do any of this kind of stuff. It's this powdery dust kind of. Okay, how about if I make this one almost black? Okay, let's all these are dirt layers. Let's add a regular paint layer and just color, let's say. gonna make it pretty dark. Actually, I should do it on the brown side though. Maybe something like that. And then maybe I'll take my brush and look for a dirt brush and put a couple of extra little things in there by hand. Where are they? And let's adjust this color a bit. Maybe let's try that. Are we seeing anything in there? Little splotches here and there. Based on the lighting, depending on the lighting. Okay, we'll try different dirt. You probably can't see that at all. Let me just lighten it for a second. Okay. Just going to paint in sort of where they would lean against. Just here and there, and at the sides, and over on this side too. And I think I'll put, let's see, this one, what's that? Yeah, yeah, so I'm going to come to one more layer, and I'm going to make this just height, and lower the height for a second, and let's just try, okay, that's a little bit too extreme, so I just want something like that puts a little bit of indentations in here and stuff like that. So I'll just come around here and there and put a couple of notches. I mean, here's really where you could go into your alphas and look for any kind of scratches you have, although mine are pretty generic. Yeah, these kind of things, it's pretty obvious what they are, but I'll throw one or two of them in here. Almost like it. All right, we'll leave it at that. That's it. Okay, you can do whatever you want with that table there. But that's going to be it for that table. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save it, and I'm going to export the textures, and I'll bring them back into Blender. And just in case anyone needs to know, to export them is very simple. Although I have a little bit of alpha work that may cause a problem if you're not using OpenGL, but just basically going to export here. You'll see that I'm getting the table legs, the pipe, the top, and the trim. Where I'm going to save it, the template I'm going to use, I'm just going to use this standard PBR metallic roughness, and that's it. You can change the bit depth if you want. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save it and export it. Okay, so over here in Blender, I've got my table. I'm on table pipe right now, so I'm going to select that. Shift Control, what am I doing? Shift Control T, and I need to go to my textures. That's it actually, and I want table pipe base color to roughness. There's the pipe, and now we'll do the tabletop. Here's tabletop. All right. So it's looking a little bit different based on the lighting, the HDRI that I'm using here. I like it though, I hope. The trim. And the legs. I'll go back into layout itself. Okay. And here's what it is with the other stuff. That's it for the time being. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a bit.